wonderful morning. You're welcome to Women's Corner. My name is Just Blossom Moye, and of course, it's exciting to be here as always. Every Monday to Fridays when this program runs, Women's Corner, where we educate, we bring women on this platform to push in the business, empower women, be an advocate for women, educate and inform us, which is very important for every woman to live on day by day. With the times that we are right now, we need every empowerment, every support we can get from one another. You're welcome to the show and to join us live. You can go to Facebook or our YouTube channel at the Galaxy TV News to watch this program live. And of course, we have other YouTube channels, which I would love for you to subscribe, like, and share. And they are Galaxy TV News, Galaxy TV Comedy, Galaxy TV Entertainment, and we have Galaxy TV Vibes. So we have all of the red carpet moments from all events across the country. So you are welcome again. Today we are talking about health. Health is wealth. Okay. Maybe there was a reason why I picked health today because it's very important. Because I know a lot of people are going through health challenges, and despite that, having so much money or not so much money, health is something that we really, really need to take care of. And if we don't do that on time, if we don't prevent ourselves from falling sick, if we don't take care of ourselves and do what is right by our body, we would end up falling sick and spending so much more that we do not want to spend before now. But anyways, we have a Zoom guest that will join us all the way from the UK, and her name is Chioma Cynthia Udebwani. But before we bring her up on board, I want us to go for a tip, and this one is a healthy habit to prevent flu. Of course, we have some persons who around the office right now who have flu, and I'm sure this is one of the most common thing we have in Nigeria. If it's not malaria, if it's not typhoid, then we have flu, which is what we call a spell cough. Yes, it could be anywhere, but there's this feverish feeling and this sniffing of nose. But for you to have a healthy habit to actually prevent yourself from having flu, this tip is for you. And if you have someone around you and that you would like to help the person, obviously we have another tip that will be coming up right after we talk. Do a little bit of talk, and that's to prevent yourself from making more yourself go deep into the flu, which is more like you're discovering yourself and making yourself recover from the flu. But this one first is just to prevent yourself from having flu and staying healthy. After that, we'll be right back to the studio to, of course, continue talking with Cynthia Chioma Udebwani. We'll be right back. Stay with us and don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back. Yes, you're watching Women's Corner. So let's bring in Cynthia Chioma Udebwani, who is a registered nurse. And of course, she is a midwife. She's also an outreach facilitator with Life Impact Foundation, a community administrator for Pregnancy Support Foundation. She's a program manager with Teen Challenge. She's also a teacher, a mentor, an empowerment and education advocate. Can we have Cynthia on the screen? Hi, good morning, Cynthia. It's good to see you.
Good morning. Good morning to you.
So tell me, how's the UK? How's the UK going for you?
Oh wow. Yeah, it's cool. The weather is getting warm and everything's just fine.
All right. So I said I made you make a promise that you're going to tell us how it was for you before you and your husband could relocate, because you were in Nigeria before, and every time you joined us on
Yeah,
on Zoom, it was from here. But now you're there. So for
yeah.
people who would really love this progress, because who does not like progress? Who does not like something beautiful, something good? So please tell us, what was the journey like? How was it? The preparation, getting over there, and all of that. Especially the fact that nursing here is definitely different from there. When you reach there, you have another exams and course to take before you can start processing that. So please just quickly share with us that before we go for the topic we have for today.
Okay, that's fine. So a beautiful morning to you and everyone viewing once more. And so honestly, well, the journey was not so easy. It wasn't, trust me, in terms of the mental preparation, the financial commitments that went to it, and all of that. It was not just so easy, but well, I have every reason to thank God. And for those that might have the interest of probably migrating to the UK, just depends on the route that might be open for you. For us nurses, it's kind of not so easy anyway, but it's more definite in that you know the exams you should take. And I prepared for two of them back home in Nigeria during the space of my internship and my youth service year. I prepared and sat for two of the examinations out of the three that we were supposed to write, which was the English IELTS test, which I passed with a band score of 8.0, and then the CBT test as well. That's it's kind of an exam for nurses, a professional exam for nurses, but an MCQ based exam. So I wrote that as well, and started, applying for jobs, seeking for visa sponsorship. So at the moment, I haven't gotten sponsorship yet because I'm yet to, get a job. But I just came over on a dependent visa, and so we
No
have
way,
here.
no way.
So what says that for any you want, they just do your research and then know what is required of you and do it.
That you were intentional about this movement. You already envisioned it even before, I'm sure, before you even finished university days. Because for you to have actually done that during service, you can't just wake up in the morning and say, I want to go and write my IELTS test. It's not possible. You just come out with zero, trust me. But it's a conscious effort you're trying to prepare, and you knowing that you have a lot you have to get yourself ready with and equipped with, and of course, to make it well. Well, we wish you all the best, and hopefully you'll make Nigeria proud, just the way every other person's in that profession are making us proud
Thank
right
you.
over there. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's go to
Thank
the
you.
topic we have for today. Today's a health topic, obviously, because we have a nurse with us, and this one is a non-STI vaginal infections. And so she mentioned about three or more. She mentioned bacterial vaginosis. We have Trichomonas vaginalis. We have candidiasis too. And I think I would just want to go with one first, which is something I think is much common amongst women. It's easily, that's the bacterial vaginosis. So I want you to give us a more elaborate education on this bacterial vaginosis, which in as much as people are hearing this word, they'll be like, what is this one again? What is this? This common toilet infections that we have, and before you know, people are already going over the counter to get drugs. But trust me, I want you to try and break down this infection, which is bacterial vaginosis. Let's go deep into it. So exactly what does this do? Where can we get this infection? And of course, how best can we prevent it? Where can we get it? And how can we prevent having the infection?
All right. Um, am I on that? So thank you very much for that wonderful question and this opportunity to actually enlighten people once again. So where do we start from now? Where do we start from? All right. So I just want to bring it to the notice of everyone that first and foremost, they say knowledge is power, right? Knowledge actually is power. So what do we know about a woman's body or woman's vagina? Now, to start from the very beginning, I just want to point to things. Number one being that God so kind created that space of a woman's body in such a way that they are already, or there is already a normal flora there first and foremost, and there is already and also a bacteria there, good bacteria in quotes, a very good bacteria that its presence in the vagina makes sure that the vagina is maintained as an acid pH. Acid pH means that the environment of the vagina is acidic. And because of that pH, it prevents, infections, some certain kind of infections from thriving there. So because of the acidity or the acid nature of the vagina, there are some organisms that cannot thrive there. That is key point number one. Now, the second point now is that the vagina is self-cleansing. A lot of women do not know this. They do not know that the vagina is different from the vulva. Now, the vulva is the external area that you can see when you kind of pull your pants down. That's the vulva. So the vulva is the part that requires you to care for. You need to wash that area with mild soap and water regularly, and have observe other forms of hygiene to make sure that that place is clean. But for the vagina, it is self-cleansing. It cleans itself and then dumps, the vet that has been cleaned from the vagina into the vulva. But a lot of women do not know this, and you will now see women using a lot of douch. They do vaginal douching and using a number of creams and all manner of products to care for their vagina, which is not so. Now, when we do this, or when women do this, what they do is that they now kind of affect that normal balance of healthy bacteria in the vagina. And once you have done this, you have started what's destroying that good bacteria. I'm using the word good bacteria in quotes in the vagina. And that bacteria actually is called the lactobacilli. So when you have, killed or, damaged the proportion of that bacteria, then you have opened up yourself to a lot of other things. One of them being the vaginal the bacteria vaginosis, exactly. So bacterial vaginosis primarily occurs when there is what a disturbance in the normal flora of the vagina. Anything at all that would lead to the loss of those healthy bacteria in the vagina will eventually cause a woman to come down with bacterial vaginosis. And that's why we say that it is a vaginal infection that is not related whatsoever to an STI. It is not a sexually transmitted infection. It just happens when women are not so, particular about their care and their hygiene. And outside of that, I mentioned the importance of, we'll look at the importance of hygiene and all of those things. But primarily, the cause of bacterial vaginosis is just because of what? An alteration or unhealthy habits that women do that would eventually alter the composition of healthy bacteria in the vagina. So once that healthy composition is tampered with, a woman's pH will, or the pH in the vagina will no longer be acidic. That will now cause bacteria to multiply. Different kind of bacteria. It multiplies in the vagina and now predisposes that woman, or not even predisposes per se, but with the multiplication of those unhealthy bacteria, then that woman comes down with bacterial vaginosis, and then she can begin to see symptoms like irritation of the vagina, itching, vagina discharge that has this fishy smell, and a number of other things. Thank you.
In as much as you said this, a lot of questions came to mind, and the first is a lot of people tend to believe there are some persons I've met and they will tell you, okay, one of the reasons why I never have any toilet infection, which is what we're treating right now, is because they tell you they don't shave off their pubic area entirely, because they feel that God, who put the hair there, put it there for a reason. So it's more like it's protecting, that section. And they tell me that whenever they have to take it off, they tend to have a lot of, if they use any toilet, or if they do the normal routine of using this person's toilet, that friend toilet, the office toilet, there's always something that happens to them. But for any time they do not have to take it off, it is well protected. And that's number one. Then number two, for those who I've seen a lot of, okay, now we have a lot of convenience, ladies' convenience, that has this flusher that looks like a pipe, which like a hose basically. And some persons tend to use it directly to the private part, which I believe it's very risky. I want you to educate women on that aspect. First is the toilet hose thing, which is used for washing, but a lot of women tend to just enjoy using it a whole lot. Why? I do not know what is so enjoyable about that. And secondly, for someone who doesn't believe in a total shave, because she believes that protects her a lot from all this very much toilet infection. So please educate us more.
All right, okay. All right, thank you so much. So regarding toilet infection and its relationship with pubic hairs, of course, very true. Pubic hairs that actually they actually have a protective side to them. But also know that when they are overgrown, they can also harbor a number of microbes there. You get so the idea is that just keep your or keep the vulva or the area around the vulva, just keep it as clean as possible. And a number of this hygiene will require you to, changing your underwears regularly and then washing the area properly with mild soap and water. Now, as to the protective effect of those hairs, it's actually true. But when they are overgrown, like I said earlier, when they are overgrown, they also harbor microbes there. So the ideal thing is that still shave, but don't. There are some people that when they want to shave, they shave and scrape off everything completely. That is not, for aesthetic purposes, anyways. But if that works for you, fine. But that is not it's not ideal. Okay, it's not ideal. So shave as often as possible and make sure to leave just you understand. I don't know how to explain, but don't scrape off everything, as in you're taking everything off completely. Okay, you're taking everything off completely. So the hair there, they have a protective function, but when it's also, overgrown, like so bushy, it can also be of a negative consequence to a woman's um, hygiene. I don't know if I'm being clear on that one. So you have to shave. It's actually good hygiene to remove or shave off pubic hairs, but not excessively. Okay, not excessively. And now, the second question being the use of toilet hoses. Well, there is nothing wrong with using toilet hoses. The only issue or challenge that we might have as women is that we try to, just like you pointed out, bring it very close to, the um, um, pubic area, very, very close to it, which is actually not good, or it's actually not adequate as well, because you don't know, especially say for instance now it's a public space, or maybe someone else's house. You don't know who have used it, you don't know where it has been lying, and not even where it has been lying, because if it's in the bathroom, the bathroom is, or the toilet is being flushed, and as it flushes, a lot of there are microbes that are just lying around, and that hose is picking it up. You understand? So using it and bringing it very close to your pubic area can also be that contact can, be a channel through which these microbes are introduced into your body. And also, I know that this might not be new, but just for the sake of just passing on knowledge, as a woman, when you are cleaning or when you're washing down there, you don't wash from back to front. That you don't wash from your anal region to, towards your vulva area, but you wash from front to back. Even when you're using a toilet roll or a toilet paper, you clean from front to back. Or when you're washing, it should go, the motion or the direction should be from front to back. And then whenever you're using toilet hoses, there is no problem with using toilet hoses. But what you are most interested, or what you are interested in, is the water, not the hose. So I don't see the point in allowing the hose to make contact with your vulva area. Just put it at a safe distance and then use the water to perform your hygiene. And I think we're going to be fine when we do that. Yes, I think we'll be fine with that. Yeah.
Let me ask this other question. Now let's go back to bacterial vaginosis. A lot of people
All
tend
right.
to believe that when they have a prolonged state of this bacterial infection, they tend to, does it actually affect fertility rate? Does it affect women's fertility rate? Like if it takes too long for you to treat, or if you keep doing self-medication, which is usually over-the-counter drugs, do you think it's something that really can affect fertility for women? Definitely. Is it possible?
Yeah, it is.
Hmm.
All right. So it's very, very possible. Very possible. Okay. Now I may not, be able to specifically tell you the statistics, but it is because when you self-medicate, what that does is that the bacteria there, you can develop resistance. That's number one. So with bacterial resistance means that infection takes longer to go, or if it eventually goes, there's a very high risk of reoccurrence. It can come back again. And one thing about vaginal vaginosis is that, in itself, like vaginal vaginosis in itself is not all that, like it cannot um like affect a woman's fertility, right? It cannot affect a woman's ability to take in. But
Okay.
when vaginal vaginosis or bacterial vaginosis, sorry, is not treated properly or when it keeps reoccurring, now there are high chances that that woman can now come down with PID, that's the pelvic inflammatory disease. And that was what we treated last time. And we
Last
looked at
time.
the horrible complications that comes with PID. The fact that a woman might never give birth, she might never, have a child again, or even when she's pregnant, there's high risks of the pregnancy to form in the fallopian to risking or giving rise to the ectopic pregnancy, right? So that's why I said bacterial vaginosis in itself cannot affect fertility, but when it gets or keeps reoccurring or it doesn't go away completely, the woman can now it can now advance or be a channel through which PID is now brought into the picture. And then
Brought
when
into.
PID comes in the picture, everything that PID comes with, you understand. So that's just it.
Hmm. Okay, amazing. Okay, so if that's the case, now it means that every lady has to be very careful. So, what are the specific? Trust me, we know that a lot of infections have almost the same symptoms. But for bacterial vaginosis, what are the specific symptoms that a woman would experience when she has either an early sign or a late sign, however it is, but it's as though she's already having bacterial vaginosis, but for confirmation reasons and for medication reasons, you have to go for a proper checkup before, of course, before you can be prescribed to medication. So, what are the specific symptoms for bacterial vaginosis?
Okay, two cardinal signs, basically two cardinal signs. Number one is the vaginal itching. You're itching badly inside there, and the itching is usually very serious, itching inside there.
Mm.
And secondly is vaginal discharge. But for vaginal bacterial vaginosis, it is distinct. You get it is distinct. For there are for I think it's trichomonas that has a discharge that doesn't have an odor. But for bacterial vaginosis, it's the discharge smells like it has this itchy smell. It has so it's very distinct. It's very distinct.
Mm.
So if you have an itchy vagina and then it's accompanied with discharge and you kind of smell your pants or you smell that discharge and it has this fishy smell, then most likely the culprit is bacterial vaginosis. So eventually when you go to the hospital to get checked and the run analysis or the lab analysis, then it can be confirmed. But you as a woman, the symptoms you're going to notice are the fact that your vagina is itchy and then the discharge or what's coming out from there has this fishy smell. Yeah. So other sorry, I
Well,
just want to add that
yeah.
you might not really experience side effects like fever and the rest of them. You might not. Okay, you may not experience any other discomfort. Just this, the fact that these are the cardinal signs or the cardinal symptoms a woman will usually experience. The fact that the vagina is itchy and then the discharge from it is has this awful smell like it smells like fish. So that's just it.
Oh, okay. Just to wrap up this part, because I know we've not even gone deep into this, and that's because we just had to hear your story. Now, the question I'm going to
Mm.
ask, as a medical professional, what would you suggest about women? Because we have millions of women. I'm going to streamline it to just Nigeria. Millions of Nigerian women, aside from drugs over the counter, a lot of them tend to take herbal drugs, herbal drinks. By the roadside, this is wrong with me, help me mix something, and they mix it
Mm,
up. And I don't know if for a fact these things work, but according to the persons or the women who take these things, they will tell you it works. It helps them. And when they have this issue about taking in, when they take the house for
mm.
a particular period, it makes them take in, then they have to avoid this and start taking another kind of herb. So I just want to know what you think about these natural herbs that a lot of women tend to take rather than over-the-counter drugs, because they all they say is, how am I supposed to trust? Let me use their terms. How am I supposed to
Mm.
trust a white man's medicine over what I know our people prepared with their hands, processed it, and all of these things are, according to them, are organic, which is better than the chemicals that are being imported, which you don't even know if they have a side effect, if they have a risk, and if they're even well processed. It could be even a fake drug. So they tend to want to, divert into the herbal part. So what would you say about that? I know we can't totally write off, the herbal medicine, but what's your take on that to wrap up the show?
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. But that question is in itself very, very dicey. It's a very dicey question you get. Because for one,
Mm-hmm.
actually, herbal medications they work, right? They work. And you would also bear me witness that, they are what the conventional or orthodox medications, some components in those medications are actually extracts from plants. They are not entirely chemicals. They are not entirely chemicals. Some have extracts from plants. Now, but where we Africans or we Nigerians get it wrong sometimes is that we have not put in, the work and the research to know what works and what does not work. Someone just comes and then he brings this herb, cooks it, and then he says, okay, he does this, and people just drink it. You don't even know the fact that, there are a lot of other components inside that very herb. It's complex. So you're putting your body through the stress of having to break down this multiple complex, um, organic materials, and you're predisposing yourself to kidney dysfunction, to liver failure because of what? Because of careless or misuse of drug. We call drug abuse, or when we hear drug abuse, we are quick to think about heroin, marijuana, cocaine, and the rest of them. But that in itself is drug abuse because you don't even know what you are taking. You are taking it, it's just working for you, but you don't know if you are overdosing yourself. I don't know if our viewers are following. You might be overdosing yourself because there is no way or enough research has not gone into analyzing the components in those plants or in those herbs to see, okay, what is present here, in what quantity is it present, if um or this particular amount is taken in, how much is ingested into the body, how much does the body actually need, how much can the body process at a given time, you know, and that is what gives us more than enough reason to trust the white man's medicine in quotes. Because for every medication that you take, you are clearly seeing the components there. You are seeing, all the compounds that have been used to, manufacture that drug. You are seeing the quantity or in what milligram or percentage those compounds are. And they are also telling you, okay, for you to see or for you to see an effect of this medication, you need to take it at this dose or take it for so number of days or number of times in a day. So all these things are clearly specified, they are clearly spelled out. And for this drug, a lot of research has also gone into it to tell us, okay, when it is taken maybe in excess, these are the side effects that you will notice, or these are the side effects that come with even taking the normal dose. And for any medication that has adverse side effects, they are never approved. Okay, they are never approved. They have their bodies that make sure that these medications are being regulated. So if they have studied a particular medication and seen that, okay, maybe a good number of the population reported very adverse effects, there is no need pushing that drug into the market. But can we say the same for herbal medications? Most of the times we cannot. So it's just blind treatments, which honestly, my view is that I don't think that is the better option. It is better to know what you are taking, the quantity you are taking, and what can happen if you eventually take it or take it in overdose. I think it's safer to
Mm,
play that too than to just, take blind medications. That's what so
mm.
until we have put in the required research, into breaking down these components and studying them as it should, I think we should just stick with the orthodox medication.
Medication. Okay, thank you very, very much for that one. Well, this is a very deep one because I know a lot of women, I'm going to use the word African Nigerian women, would still, not really agree with what we're saying, but trust me, it's because this is something they've been used to over the years. But that is why this program is here. That's why we try to educate women of all age brackets and of course of all educational standards, however it comes. We are just here to educate you and give you the right information for you to know what to do, when to do, and what to do, whatever you need to do. Anyways, this is me saying thank you very much, Cynthia Chova Devani. Thank you so much for being on the show again and for doing justice, even though as usual, I don't know, we end up not saying so much about a topic because medical topics are so deep. I can say that for sure. They are so deep that when you pick one, I don't think we can dissect it enough. We'll just probably have to take it in stages or do what we can and move on to the next one so that we can at least touch every aspect that we can when it comes to health or medical health, medical stuff. But anyways, I want to say thank you so much from all of us at Galaxy TV. We do appreciate you for your time, for joining us on the show. Thank you so much, Cynthia.
All right. Thank you for having me too. It's always a privilege. Thank you.
Thank you. And that's it from Cynthia Chioma Udebwane, all the way from UK, joining us to educate us on non-STI infections. And of course, we just talked about bacterial vaginosis. And yes, she did give us so much education about it. And yes, in as much as she told you that you can take your herbal drinks, but it's safe to take a drug that has been prescribed to you so that when there is an overdose, they know what to do. But and if you take those herbal drinks, there's what they call kidney and liver in our body that could be at risk when we take those things. And if you want to know, maybe you're like wondering, you're just joining us, let me just give you one thing that she said. But if you missed a lot, you need to go back to our Facebook or our YouTube channel and watch it again. And what she said about bacterial vaginosis is that the two major symptoms, just in case, is that I'm not saying you have it, but just in case you have someone who has it or someone you know that knows someone who has it, is when they have a discharge that smells very fishy. And of course, when you itch a whole lot, not the usual itching, like a very, very deep itching that you is as though you want to pull it out and just keep itching. Yes, that kind of thing that makes you understand that you're already infected and you need treatment as soon as possible because it could result to PID. And when you have that, you could have issues getting pregnant or even having to keep a baby, or you could have an ectopic pregnancy. But anyways, that's it for today. You can just join us again tomorrow where we'll talk about something different away from health. But until then, I want you to enjoy your day. I'll be coming up again pretty soon on the buzz. And until then, do have a beautiful day. My name is Rose Blossom. I'll see you pretty soon again. Bye for now.